Is it time to hit the panic button if you're Brad Keselowski? How's it going, y'all? My name is Eric. Welcome to Out of the Groove. Lots to get to today. Kyle and Brexton Busch threw down last night. Some new throwback schemes to react to. But first, this episode is sponsored by Aluma. If you're looking for exceptional, high-quality trailers to haul your classic cars or trucks, Aluma is the place. Check out the 8200 XL Tilt Tandem Axle Trailer and the Executive Series 8200 LP Tilt Tandem Axle Trailer. These Executive Series trailers have great premium features such as longer ramps for better loading angles. Oh yeah, look at that. Smooth loading. Both trailers feature a 40-inch spread axle and removable fenders, another great feature. Not only do they provide convenience and utility, they also help protect your classic car by allowing the doors to open without obstruction. Both come with the LED glow lighting package, side steps, and a cargo storage box. Plus, these Executive Series trailers look great with those black aluminum wheels. That's sharp. Make sure you head to the Aluma website, alumaklm.com, or click the link down in the description below to find an Aluma dealer near you. Thank you to Aluma for sponsoring Out of the Groove. Hendrick Motorsports has given us the best and the worst of Throwback Weekend so far. Today they unveiled Alex Bowman's Darlington Throwback. He's throwing it back to Jimmy Johnson's 2012 Lowe's scheme. When I first saw this, I was perplexed. 2012 was one of the few non-championship seasons Jimmy had during that span. But then I read their press release. This is honoring Hendrick's 200th win as an organization. Jimmy and Chad got that victory in this scheme at Darlington 13 years ago. I was never a huge fan of the black and white monochromatic Lowe's colors, but this is a solid rendition. I know the hood's kind of a mess. They brought back the busy Ally logo, but otherwise it looks pretty good. And the 200th win, the Darlington significance is there. Not my favorite Jimmy scheme of all time, but it is one of the more unique looks, so not bad. The Xfinity Series, meanwhile, still hasn't missed. Alpha Prime Racing, Looney Tunes, Brennan Poole. They Bugs Bunnied him. I love the Looney Tunes reference. I know Brennan is a huge Jeff Gordon fan. He's got to be loving this. Alpha Prime, Ryan Pistano, the whole team continue to clean up Throwback Weekend. This is fun. And how about the Siegs? Kyle Sieg, Ryan Sieg, throwing it back to Robert Yates Racing. That 28 car especially. Oh, that is clean. I want to make sure we shout out the sponsors who are willing to play along and make these throwback schemes happen. Night Owl on the 28, Psyaps, of course, on the 39. Looks good. And then back to the 44. CW Sons, Clark's Directional Boring. There's some sponsors on the side. Toxic Waste, Mac Door Systems, Frontline. Shout out to everyone. I love that the graphic is a t-shirt. I don't know if they're selling this t-shirt. I'm not even sure if they're allowed to sell this as a t-shirt, but if they are, I'm gonna scoop one up. I'm gonna find it. Let's move on. Let's talk some actual racing. Last night, Kyle Busch competed against his 9-year-old son, Brexton, at Millbridge Speedway in North Carolina. The race was streamed on Dirt Vision. I didn't get a chance to watch. We do our scheduled Wednesday night live streams. Unfortunately, they overlapped, but I went back, saw some of the highlights. Kyle Busch finished 3rd. Brexton finished 6th. I'll link a Bob Pockrass Fox Sports article down below. He talked to Kyle Busch post-race, and Kyle reiterated that his plan for Brexton is to one day share a truck series ride once Brexton is of age. Kyle said, quote, "I always said he would run the short tracks and I would run the big tracks, and when he was old enough, he would take over. I don't know that we'll run against each other in NASCAR, but we'll have to see where everything will fall when that time comes." I saw in another interview Busch added that Brexton's goal is to go Cup Series racing, which I guess we all figured. He's only 9 years old. He'll turn 10 later this spring. He's still a kid. But NASCAR has always been a generational sport. In the current era, we have Chase Elliott, son of Bill, Cup Series champion, Ryan Blaney, son of Dave, Cup Series champion, John Hunter Nemechek, son of Joe, multi-time Xfinity and Truck Series winner. Don't look now, but Lane Riggs, son of Scott, looks pretty sporty in the Truck Series. Within the next decade, Brexton Busch could burst onto the scene. Long way to go, but he certainly has one of the best teachers anyone could ask for. Y'all know I love to make way too early, bold predictions. The kid's 9 years old. You're not getting that from me today, but I hope he has a successful young racing career, and I hope we see him on the national stage one day in the not so distant future. Speaking of being way too early, is it too early to panic if you're Brad Keselowski, Ty Gibbs, Shane Van Gisbergen? That's what I want to talk about today. I know we're only 6 races into the Cup Series season, but we've seen a little bit of everything. We've seen super speedways, we've seen a road course, a short oval, a couple intermediates. I know how the system works. One win any given weekend could completely turn your season around. Just ask the Wood brothers last year, or see how mad Richard Childress was when NASCAR penalized Austin Dillon. I want to talk about several high-profile drivers who are off to somewhat surprisingly slow starts. And I want to talk about which of these drivers is most likely to turn their season around. Let's start with Carson Hocevar. The defending Rookie of the Year is currently 27th in points. He already has 4 finishes of 30th or worse. He's tied for the most DNFs so far this season with 3. The good news for Carson Hocevar, and why I'm not panicking here, is that he's shown top 15 speed. At Homestead, for example, tires wear out quickly. He stayed out on probably the equivalent of 1 or 2 lap old tires and was able to hold his track position pretty well and get stage points at the end of that run. I know Carson is really young and maybe has some racecraft still to learn, not the most popular amongst the veterans in the garage. But if he keeps his head down and catches a break here or there, that team has the speed. I think Carson is more than capable of stringing together a few top 10 finishes. So 27th in points, not great, but I'm not panicking if I'm the 77 team. I am panicking a little if I'm Brad Keselowski. The standard is different when you're a former Cup Series champion. BK is right now 30th in points. 0 laps led, 0 top 10 finishes. His teammates are 9th and 16th. So what's going on with the 6? He has a new crew chief this year, Jeremy Bullins, but this isn't the first time they've worked together. They won 4 races together back in 2020. Now, to be fair, that was a different car generation. That was a completely different team, Team Penske. That was the COVID year. The at-track schedule was very different. The format of the race weekend, very different. So maybe they are going through some growing pains. Maybe the fit wasn't as natural as many of us believed this offseason. If there's any glimmer of hope for Brad Keselowski, 1, it's that his teammates continue to run top 10, but 2, we're headed to Martinsville this weekend. Same tire combo, similar type of track as the Bowman Gray Clash. Brad Keselowski ran top 5, top 10 much of that night. Maybe he can turn things around at Martinsville this weekend. If we look at the last 3 races, Phoenix, Vegas, Homestead, his average running position is in the mid-20s. He's 30th in points, and he only has 1 win in 3+ years of the next-gen car. History tells us you cannot bet on Brad to win a regular season race. And pointing his way into the playoffs seems all but impossible at this rate. I am very concerned if I am Brad Keselowski. I'm also concerned for Ty Gibbs. 34th in points, 0 top 10s, not even a single stage point, not playoff point, stage point. It doesn't make sense. He has an average finish of 25.7 this year, and his average running position the last 3 weeks, 21st, 29th, 23rd. He's closing in on his 100th career Cup Series start, but he's never looked further from his first win than he looks right now. Is it mental? Is it physical? He's been in some wrecks, flipped in a sprint car just a couple weeks ago at Las Vegas. Maybe he's not quite 100%. He has a rookie crew chief in Tyler Allen. I doubt that's helping. Joe Gibbs Racing has some decent tracks coming up. Darlington, Kansas. We need to see signs of life by then, or else I'm selling all of my 2025 Ty Gibbs stock. Let's talk about some rookies. Riley Herbst. I know, he's a rookie, so I'm not saying you should sell your Riley Herbst stock just yet. The problem is I personally never bought any Riley Herbst stock to begin with. Right now, Riley Herbst is 31st in points while his teammates are 4th and 7th. Look, I know this sounds harsh. I'm not trying to Red Bull Riley Herbst, put Yuki Tsunoda in 6 weeks into the year, but I've been honest with y'all. I've always thought Corey Heim is the better prospect. Dominant in trucks for the past 3+ years, something Riley never was. Corey clearly has a higher ceiling. He just outran everybody, including Kyle Larson at Homestead. I know Riley brings sponsorship, but if money wasn't a factor, Riley would have been on the hot seat since Daytona. Hopefully he learns, makes steady improvements. I know I keep using this stat, but I think it's a telling one. His average running position at Homestead was 30th. No wrecks, no damage, nothing, just 30th place pace. He's a rookie. I think his crew chief is a rookie as well, so give them some time. I'll be patient. But speaking of time, if they don't show improvement this year, I'll be watching the clock, waiting for it to be you-know-who's time. I'll mention one more rookie, Shane Van Gisbergen. We knew the ovals would be challenging. SVG has a 30th place average finish the first 5 oval races of the year. He's 33rd in points, but again, we were prepared for this. Sure, his goal should be to improve on the ovals, but his ticket to the playoffs was always the road courses. At Circuit of the Americas, he led the second most laps, had the second best average running position, sputtered on one of the final restarts, still finished 6th. A very good day. I still have faith SVG can win Mexico City or Sonoma or Watkins Glen or Chicago. If he's the second best guy in all of those races, odds are one will break his way. And I wouldn't be shocked if he's the best guy at the Chicago street race again, or the best guy at Mexico City, considering most of the other Cup Series drivers have never raced there before, and those who have, it's been years. Slow start to the year for Shane Van Gisbergen, no doubt, but we've known all along he has the road courses circled. That's his ticket into the playoffs, and he still has 4 more chances to get it done. Let me know down in the comment section below. Am I panicking too quickly about Brad Keselowski or Ty Gibbs? Let me know. That's going to do it for this episode, folks. Leave a like if you enjoyed. While you're down there leaving a comment, hit that subscribe button, especially if you're new to the channel. We talk NASCAR every single day, all year long. Big thank you to my Patreon supporters as well. How y'all doing in fantasy this year? I had a big week finally. I needed it. Lots of good stuff on the channel the past few days. Did our Martinsville preview with Ryan Stevens, NWP stream last night. Good stuff. Be sure to check out my channel in case you missed anything. I'll talk to you again soon. Thanks for watching, folks. Have a good rest of your day.